Everyone wants to rank up in Counter-Strike, but often that's easier said than done. If you're not ranking up, then Valve's ranking system has you where it thinks you should be, and oftentimes, that's exactly where you're supposed to be. There's only one way to grab the coveted global elite rank, and you might not like what it is. You've got to get better at Counter-Strike. Valve's matchmaking algorithm has you at a certain rank because, over time, you've proven that you belong there, and as much as you think you may be better than your rank, the math doesn't lie, and the first step is realizing that you may not be as good as you think you are. At its most basic, ranking up requires you to win matches. Now, we can't help you do that, but what we can do is tell you a few simple things to keep in mind that, over time, will make you a better player. Don't watch your highlights, watch your lowlights. If you have insane aim, are you lacking in other departments? The most common mistake we see at lower ranks is players taking a poor fight. These are the ones that favor your opponent and not you. So peeking mid on Mirage when you already know there's an AWPer there, especially if you're not going to ask for a flash from Catwalker over Connector, is a bad fight. We see players make poor decisions all the time in fight selection. When you're about to make a decision, take a single second to look at your minimap. Can anyone support or trade you? Can you ask a teammate to use their utility? And if you die, is the kill you get, the damage you do, or the information you get worth it? In other words, if you do lose the fight, what do you gain in return? If you gain nothing, then don't take the fight. Or, if your life is worth more than the information you gain, don't take the fight. These little decisions that you have to do intentionally at first become automatic over time, but if you don't practice them every time you play, then they won't stick. Do small things to improve your play. There are small tricks you can use to help you win a fight, and a one fight can lead to a round win. And there are many times we've seen a CT player walk during a 1v1 retake, and before they peek, they'll throw a flash. Before they threw that flash, the enemy player had several angles to worry about. Take Inferno for example. If a CT retakes from arches, and the T is holding lane from pit, the T will have to peek moto occasionally to make sure the CT is not retaking from that position. From pit, they're hoping the CT will come from lane or apartments and they'll have a good position. They have a 66% chance of being right since there are 3 entrances into the site and pit covers 2 of them. If the CT walks arches but flashes moto before he rounds the corner, the T now knows exactly where the CT is coming from. A 66% chance of being correct has now been increased to 100%. If the enemy doesn't know your position, don't give it to them for free. There are exceptions, but that's a small thing that lowers the chances of success for the counter-terrorist. B apartments on Mirage is one of the most frustrating holds for a CT, but it's also one of the most frustrating takes for the T side. How can that be? We have to think about what makes B so hard to hold as a CT, and that's the rush. What makes it hard to take as a T? When people don't rush. When they get to window, stand there firing away at the CTs who can take cover on site, and they block those behind them, and it's a shooting gallery. Now that's a very simple analysis, but it's also true. Put yourself in the enemy's shoes. If you were them, what is the most difficult thing to defend against if you were in their position? Then simply do that. Being willing to die for information is important, and so are the kills you can get from that information. If you're in the front during a B rush, don't even look out the window. Jump past and keep going. The first player is only there to pull the crosshairs of the defenders away from the rest of his team. If they manage to get the first kill, great. If not, they've allowed the rest of their team to flood the site and trade their death. Here, not stopping is the smallest thing you as a player can do, but it has a huge impact on the round. Realize you won't improve overnight. Look at TenZ. He's trying to break this AIM map's world record time. Now, he doesn't hop in and expect to accomplish his goals in a matter of minutes. He restarts and restarts over and over again until he finally nails the world record. The cliche practice makes perfect is a cliche, but it's true. You might think the more time you dedicate to Counter-Strike, the better you will become, and in a way that's true, but there's a small note. Research has shown that after a certain amount of time practicing, a person actually gets worse. So limiting sessions to 30 minutes twice a day was shown to be effective in learning a new skill. Some people think that training their aim is the most effective way to get better results in Counter-Strike, and that's kind of true. If your aim isn't up to snuff, you'll have less of an impact than others, but that doesn't mean that aim is the most important thing, however. 200 IQ plays aren't nicknamed that because the player has good aim. They're called that because they have a big brain. Reviewing your own demos and watching what an opponent does when he outsmarts you is one of the best ways to learn. And you can even do this in game. Noticing how an enemy plays is just as important as paying attention to how you play. During a silver matchmaking game on Overpass, a teammate noticed and called out that the CTs were playing a ton of close angles. Thanks to that simple observation, the team changed up their play and managed a pretty dominant win on the map. Ranking up in Counter-Strike shouldn't be your main focus. If all you focus on in CSGO is the rank next to your name, it's not going to be fun. There will be times that your team just isn't as good as the other team, and if you're down 13-2, the best thing you can do is take the next couple of rounds and focus on one single thing you can improve. Practice a pop flash, hone your shoulder peaks, or focus on better communication. These matches are opportunities to get better at something, so accept the loss and use that time to improve. Surrendering or shouting at your teammates because you're losing is lazy and rude. Use those extra 3 rounds that you probably won't win anyway to practice something in a live setting. That way, you'll have experience the next time it happens. If you manage to change your perception of Counter-Strike, you'll improve. And once you get better, so will your rank.